Welcome, everyone. We are live in the basement of a bar somewhere in Ohio. This is PWF Underground. I'm Stunning Steve Lincoln Douglas.
And I'm James J. Hamilton.
And we have an exciting card for you tonight, James.
That's right. We're broadcasting live from an undisclosed location after the events of After School Special. When that event was shut down, we are now gone underground.
That's just it, but still as ever, providing excellent action. We got some fantastic bouts coming up tonight. We're going to see an 8-man battle royal for the vacant Transcontinental title. And what a story behind that, James.
That's right. Richard Nixon won the Transcontinental title from Barack Obama at After School Special. Of course, you recall Obama destroying his dressing room in anger after the match and uncovering a bug. Further investigation found that maybe Nixon had planted that bug, and ultimately he was ordered to turn over tapes recorded in his own dressing room, which implicated him. And when it appeared that he was going to be stripped of the Transcontinental belt, he vacated the title.
That's just it. We'll take you back to Wednesday Night War, the announcement from Richard Nixon. Therefore, I will vacate the Transcontinental title, effective at noon tomorrow. There it was.
And that he did, and now we're going to have 8 men going at it for the Transcontinental title.
Including former Transcontinental title holder Andrew Jackson. What a match that'll be.
That's right. Not including Barack Obama, who, along with Nixon, was suspended as a result of the property damage he did to the girls' locker room there. Obama taking advantage of his suspension to vacation with his family in Martha's Vineyard. Meanwhile, Nixon is upstairs at this very bar drinking angrily.
That's just it. Our only audience tonight, the presidential wrestling superstars and various chief justices and justices of the Supreme Court. Slew of first ladies here, but
no civilian crowd here.
That's just it, an unusual event in that regard.
We're trying to keep things on the down low to avoid being shut down.
Indeed. But besides that fantastic 8-man battle royal, we're going to have one exciting, if not unusual, main event. Teddy Roosevelt versus 2 fighting dogs.
That's right. Teddy Roosevelt proposed this match. Rather unusual, but he's very confident.
And that should be quite interesting. But let's get down to ringside for our opening bout here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a tag team match. In this corner, the Beardos, Rutherford Hayes and Benjamin Harrison. Here they come, the Beardos. Rutherford Hayes and Benjamin Harrison making their way to ringside here.
A formidable tag team, and this match, of course, up for grabs, a shot at the tag team championships.
That's just it. The winner gets to take on Teddy Roosevelt and Taft for the PWF Tag Team Championship belts. And their opponents, Ronald Reagan and Gerald Ford. Here they come, Reagan and Ford. Looking pretty good, looking pretty determined there. And they got a tough match ahead of them, if they're going to get one over on Hayes and Harrison.
Both these teams looking pretty confident.
That's just it. And, of course, our official here for this bout, Chief Justice Taft, one half of the tag team champions.
That's right.
Going to be officiating this bout.
Gonna be involved here in seeing who will end up facing him and his partner. And it looks like Lucy Hayes has brought a tray of lemonade and is offering some to Chief Justice Taft here.
Oh, maybe he's happily accepting.
Perhaps buttering him up a little bit. He's gulping down that lemonade.
Oh, what's this now? Nancy Reagan. She's coming over with it looks like a jar of jelly beans that she is now handing to Chief Justice Taft. These first ladies perhaps attempting to butter up the Chief Justice a little bit here.
That's right. I believe Caroline Harrison may be home somewhat ill. I'm getting word that Betty Ford is upstairs in the bar going shot for shot with Richard Nixon right now.
Oh, my goodness.
Perhaps no good can come of that.
Yeah, that remains to be seen. It looks like Gerald Ford and Rutherford Hayes electing to start for their respective teams as this one is about to get underway. Here we go. Hayes and Ford now squaring up. Ford coming in for a shot. Hayes blocking it and a headbutt to Jerry Ford.
Ooh.
And that looked like it hurt a bit. Hayes moving in, grabbing Ford behind the neck, hurling him against the ropes. Here comes Ford. Oh, and ducks under a clothesline. Ford now coming out behind in a drop kick. Right to the side of Rutherford Hayes that sends him down to the mat.
Ford now. Wasting no time. He's going to lift Hayes back up off the mat and... Oh, he picks him up. What a body slam.
Oh, my goodness.
Ford
Making some quick work.
Displaying some power here. Ford is going to bound off the ropes and come out. Oh, a big leg drop.
Hayes looking to be in some trouble now. Ford coming over, scooping Hayes up. He's walking him over to his corner, hitting him off the turnbuckle there and tagging in Ronald Reagan. Here comes Reagan now. Reagan now has Hayes, whipping him across the ropes there, and a big boot from Reagan. Kind of looking like the cover of Newt Rockney there.
Wow. Beardo's not off to a good start here.
No, indeed. Hayes in some trouble. Reagan coming forward, but Hayes, it looked like he might have got him with a bit of an eye gouge there.
Ooh.
And Hayes now going over to his corner to make the tag to Benjamin Harrison. Here comes Harrison now. Reagan turning about. It looked like he took a shot to the eyes there, or very near. Here comes Harrison. Here comes Harrison running up and, just a flying headbutt.
Harrison
right into the face of Reagan.
Harrison just launching himself through the air. Reagan's face is battered.
Indeed, he looks to be in some trouble there. Harrison grabbing his legs and pulling him towards the center of the ring now. Harrison bounding off the ropes, flying up for an elbow drop. And, Reagan able to roll out of the way, scrambling over to his corner and making the tag to Ford. Ford now coming back in. Harrison up back to his feet, and here they go. Trading blows now. These two trading left and right hands. But Ford, getting a kick there to the midsection of Benjamin Harrison that sent him reeling a couple steps. Ford now rushing in quick. He's got his hands on the back of Ben Harrison's head, and a flying knee that sends Harrison bouncing off the ropes and coming forward, and Ford with a clothesline.
Ooh.
And Benjamin Harrison down on the mat. Ford coming over now, scooping him up. It looks as though he's lifting him up for a power bomb here. Ford, he's got him up, but wait, Harrison's got his arm out. He's made the tag to Hayes. Ford doesn't realize it, and oh my goodness, he followed up with that power bomb. Harrison
Ford now
down.
Ford going for the pin now, but Harrison has tagged Hayes. Harrison's not the legal man. Taft's not counting.
Ford doesn't realize what's happening, and here comes Hayes now. He's giving some boots to the back of Ford. Ford now rolling over. He realizes what's going on. Hayes lifting up Ford. Ford now getting whipped against the ropes, and Hayes with a big boot.
He got Ford right in the chin.
My goodness.
Hayes now. And he spears Ford.
Ooh.
He's on top of him now, and he's wailing away.
My goodness, Ford in some trouble here. That misunderstanding. He did not realize that Benjamin Harrison had tagged Hayes in when he was up in the air before that power bomb.
What a crafty maneuver. Harrison maintaining his faculties even in the midst of being power bombed.
That's it. And now Ford in some serious trouble. Hayes now scooping Ford up off the mat here. He's got his head between his legs, lifting him up in a pile driver.
Ford in serious trouble now.
Indeed. Hayes may be able to follow this up with a move that could put it away for good.
What's this?
Wait a second here.
That's Betty Ford.
What's she doing?
She's coming down the basement stairs from the bar area, and
she's walking right up to Lucy Hayes.
She seems to be extremely inebriated.
My God. And what is it? She grabbed the drink and she threw it right in Lucy's face.
She just threw a drink in Lucy Hayes' face.
My God, she just flipped the tray.
She flipped over the lemonade tray, glasses of lemonade shattered all in Lucy Hayes' face. She's covered in lemonade.
She's drenched. And Hayes sees it, and he is really upset here. Yelling down, Betty Ford taunting him from outside the ring.
Chief Justice Taft trying to restore order here. Betty Ford is belligerent.
This is unbelievable. Wait a second, James. What's this? Ford's stirring. He's crawling over towards Hayes.
Hayes doesn't see him.
Here he comes. Oh my God.
He's got him.
He's whirled him around. He's got him up. It's the national nightmare.
The national nightmare.
It's the national nightmare. My God, Rutherford Hayes is in a world of hurt. Ford now, he's bouncing off the ropes and hopping up in a splash. He's covering him up for the pin. Chief Justice Taft is down. 1, 2, 3. It's over. My God. Ronald Reagan and Jerry Ford.
They have prevailed here in this tag team match, and they're going to be facing Taft and TR for the tag team titles.
Betty Ford and Nancy Reagan joining their husbands in the ring as Taft raises their arms in victory. Rutherford Hayes being helped up by Benjamin Harrison. I'm sure he's going to want to go tend to his wife. She's covered in lemonade, and it's a hot day. She could be swarmed by bees if she's not careful.
Betty Ford being propped up by her husband. And she needs to be careful making her way home as well.
He looks a mixture of proud and dismayed.
Well, hopefully he's the one driving when they head home tonight.
That's just it. What a bout. Gerald Ford and Ronald Reagan will be going to face that man in the ring now, William Howard Taft, and his partner, Teddy Roosevelt, who we'll see in action later tonight. A great way to kick this bout off, PWF Underground. And, of course, we're no longer brought by any advertisements, but feel free to send money to our Washington, D.C. Post office box. That's 69420. And, feel free to donate and help out the PWF.
That's right. Every dollar helps. PWF in dire straits these days. Couldn't even sell any tickets to this event.
That's it. And that brings us to our next event. We got another exciting one coming up here. Another interesting bout here, James. A bare-knuckle boxing grudge match. And the winner here has to win by knockout.
That's right. There are no pins. There's no submissions. No countouts here.
No time limit. This thing could go on. This will go on until one of these men drops.
That's right.
And it should be an exciting one. Let's get down to ringside for the announcements. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a bare-knuckle boxing grudge match. In order to win, the opponent must be knocked out. In this corner, Millard Fillmore. Here comes Millard Fillmore. He is looking pretty prepared. He looks pretty stern, pretty focused.
That's right. He looks like he has a killer instinct in his eye here. And he's going to need it against his formidable opponent.
That's just it. And his opponent, Chester Arthur. Here he comes, big Chet Arthur. Looking pretty fierce there.
That's right. Those are some scary-looking mutton chops.
Indeed. Looking like a bare-knuckle boxer, Chester Arthur.
That's right, Chet Arthur. He's got the size advantage here.
Indeed he does. We got Chief Justice Melville Fuller presiding, and these two are ready to square off here. Here we go, Fillmore and Arthur. They got their dukes up. Millard Fillmore trying to cover his face. It looks as though Arthur is going to be the aggressor here. He's popping in for some body shots. Fillmore trying to keep himself covered. Arthur going for those body shots more and more. Fillmore lowering his arms, and there's Arthur with a right cross. It connects. And Fillmore appears to be hurt. Fillmore trying to cover up again. Arthur bullying in on him. And here comes Arthur. He's raining some hooks. He's raining some crosses. Going in for an uppercut that looked like it connected with the solar plexus of Millard Fillmore. That maybe hurt him a little bit. Fillmore now backing away as Arthur tries to rush in on him.
Arthur taking a big swing here. Fillmore ducked under it, and he countered. He got Arthur right there on the jaw.
Arthur now taking a step back, surprised that Fillmore was able to counter him there, but Fillmore now kind of pushing in on Arthur, trying to pepper him with blows. Arthur covering up fairly well here, but Fillmore, he seems determined. He's now standing up to Arthur.
Yeah, he's become the aggressor here, maybe taking the tack that the best defense is a good offense. He's just peppering Arthur with jabs here.
Trying to wear out the big man.
Not really doing a lot of damage, but keeping him on the defensive.
Arthur now leaning up against the ropes, and Fillmore still boring in, peppering him with blows. And Arthur now, a swift uppercut. And that one clipped Fillmore pretty good.
Fillmore taking a couple steps back now, and Arthur's coming out swinging. He's swinging wildly at Fillmore. Fillmore covering himself up here. Arthur not really connecting, but going wild here. Fillmore holding his own, and then, he just hit Arthur right in the breadbasket.
That looked like it hurt Fillmore.
Arthur
and weaving.
Arthur now drops to his knee, and Fillmore clocked him right between the eyes. Arthur is down. He is down, and Chief Justice Fuller is beginning to count.
Let's see what happens here. Arthur,
he seems to be, he's scrambling back to his feet here.
He is down, but he is not out.
He did not lose consciousness, and he is back on his feet now before the Chief Justice reaches 5. Chief Justice now inspecting Arthur.
Fillmore looking impatient. He wants to try and wrap this up.
Fuller says Arthur is okay to proceed, and he waves him on, and Fillmore rushes right back in and is peppering Arthur with blows.
Arthur covering up, trying to bob and weave and get out of the way of the fists of Millard Fillmore, who's furiously attacking right now. Arthur he's absorbing a lot of blows, but how many of them are really hurting him is hard to say. But he is certainly under the pressure here at this point in the bout. Arthur now with a quick step to the side and a jab right to the face of Fillmore. Fillmore caught unawares, and now they're trading blows. They are just trading lefts and rights right to the face. And oh my goodness, they're getting opened up. I see a bloody nose, I see a bloody lip.
I see black eyes all around here.
My God. Fillmore's ear is beginning to swell. Both of these men beat red at this point. They're throwing everything they have into these punches right to the face. Wow.
I don't know how either of them is still standing at this point.
Unbelievable. The tenacity here. They're both covered with blood. They're bruised. They both look like a couple California raisins.
That's right. Fillmore now got a face not even Queen Victoria could love.
Indeed. And it looks like, they're now in on I would say a grapple, but they're more just kind of leaning on each other here.
Yeah, these two men are spent.
Some loose fists. They're trying to come up. Now here comes Fuller to separate them. He's having a word with both of them, and now waving them back on. Fillmore and Arthur, both savaged. Bloody pulps.
That's right. They're kind of just circling each other now, taking their time.
Neither of them covering up as they should. Just some flippant blows coming here and there. And somebody's going to connect, and it's going to be bad. Their defense is down. They are worn out. They're both staggering around the ring now. Here comes Fillmore coming in close and pulling up on Arthur. He's got his arm around him. He's giving him... those are some blows to the kidney there.
Arthur, in a lot of pain now, his kidney riddled with Bright's disease.
Indeed, and these punches from Fillmore aren't helping him. Fillmore being warned now by Chief Justice Fuller not to do those kidney shots. Fillmore stepping back now.
Arthur in extreme pain here, trying to regroup.
That's just it. Fillmore trying to step in. Here he comes. And, Arthur's able to get up a block on that left cross and connect with a shot right to the bridge of the nose. Fillmore over and down.
Fillmore is down.
Blood pouring down his nose.
I don't think he's conscious.
No, it looks like he is completely out. Here comes Chief Justice Fuller.
He looks totally limp.
No, I think this one's it. Melville Fuller, he's waving this one off. Millard Fillmore is unable to carry on. Yes, sir, that is all she wrote.
Fuller has called it, and Chester Arthur has won by knockout.
My goodness, a bloodied Chester Arthur blood dripping down his mutton chops. Looks like he's just eaten 40 pounds of raw steak, and his face kind of resembles that.
And
Millard Fillmore looking just as battered. He's now being attended to with some smelling salts.
Fillmore now appears to be waking back up, being informed that he has lost this match.
But he sure did show heart.
Wow. I didn't think Fillmore would be able to hold his own that long against Chester Arthur, but he gave him a run for it.
He certainly did. Another fantastic bout here tonight at PWF Underground. And even more exciting stuff coming up here as we proceed with one that we've been really looking forward to and one we talked about at the beginning of the show. The 8-man Battle Royal for the vacant Transcontinental title, James. Of course, the long story, Obama and Nixon, and we've gone over it at the top of the show. Both men suspended, one of whom is actually in the vicinity, although not down here. Upstairs at the bar is a bitter Richard Nixon, who resigned as the Transcontinental champion before he could be stripped of the belt.
That's right, and now it is up for grabs here, and we have 8 presidential superstars, any one of whom could walk out of here with the championship, the Transcontinental belt.
That's just it. And it's going to be a good one. We got some great competitors here. Let's get down to ringside. Ladies and gentlemen, the following is an 8-man battle royal for the Transcontinental Championship. All 8 contestants will enter the ring at once, and the last man in the ring will become the Transcontinental Champion. The rules for elimination are as follows. You must be thrown over the top rope, and both feet must hit the floor. Introducing first, Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson still reeling from the loss of Monticello to Donald Trump. Perhaps the Transcontinental belt can help make up for that in some way.
That's just it. Andrew Jackson. Former Transcontinental Champion Andrew Jackson, looking to reclaim his title.
That's right, he is one fierce competitor, and he wants that belt back.
Fabulous Frankie Pierce. Here he comes, Franklin Pierce.
Somewhat of an underdog in this match, but he's looking strong.
Indeed. Looking fabulous as ever, Frankie Pierce. Ulysses S. Grant. Here he comes now. If ever there was someone that was a viable contender for the Transcontinental title, this man, U.S. Grant.
He is striding into the ring there, all business, ready to go.
James A. Garfield. Here comes Garfield, and he's had his share of troubles here in the PWF with various injuries, and boy, what a story it would be if he became the next Transcontinental Champion.
That's right, a fellow Civil War veteran with Grant, no stranger to combat, and he's in for some fierce combat here.
Grover Cleveland. Oh, I could feel the ground trembling here. Big Grover Cleveland.
That's right, he's going to be the biggest man in this match.
That's just it. It might take a slew of these presidential superstars to get this man out of the ring. Calvin Coolidge. Here comes Silent Cal, another underdog in this bout.
That's right, we had Crossross Cleveland try to reach him for comment earlier. He had no comment. He's going to let his fist speak for him in the ring here.
That's just it. And Harry Truman. Here he comes, Harry Truman. And we'll see if the buck stops with him tonight, James.
That's right. He has his eye on the Transcontinental belt. Anything could happen here.
Our officials here for this battle royal, we have Chief Justice John Jay, who there he has the Transcontinental title on display that is up for grabs here tonight. And in addition to him, John Roberts will be covering the action from outside the ring here.
Yep, they'll be keeping watch to see whose feet hit the ground when all 8 of these men go at it at once.
That's it. These matches always difficult to call because of the sheer chaos factor with all that action going on in the ring. But if anybody's up for it, it's us. It looks like we're about to get started here.
These 8 competitors are ready to go. They're eyeing each other up.
Here we go. Off to the races. Grant and Garfield immediately going over to Grover Cleveland, and both of them pounding at Grover Cleveland. Cleveland trying to defend himself, but Grant and Garfield now ganging up on him. I think perhaps they're bitter that he paid his way out of the Civil War, James.
Yep, these Union veterans, no mercy for the draft-dodging Cleveland right off the bat.
Indeed, and it looks like some of these other presidential superstars are joining into the fray here, because Cleveland, as a huge man, maybe he is the one they want to go for first here, and it looks like he could be in some trouble. He's flailing around his beefy arms, trying to connect, having some trouble.
It's like Cleveland has several superstars on top of him now.
Indeed, he's being swarmed like ants to a dead mouse. He may be in some trouble here. And wait, what's this? Cleveland with a great burst of strength. And he's thrown everybody back off of him. And he's winded. He's leaning against the ropes. But wait a second. Grant and Garfield, they're linking arms. Here they come. It's a clothesline.
Double clothesline.
Double clothesline over the top rope is Grover Cleveland.
Grover Cleveland is out.
He has been eliminated. My goodness. The biggest man in this thing. And it looks like there's a lot more space in the ring now.
Yeah, maybe many thought Cleveland could be the favorite here, but Grant and Garfield seeing to it that he is dispatched early.
That's just it, and we got some other entanglements going on here in other quarters of the ring.
Looks like Jefferson and Jackson are going at it in one corner here. Pierce and Truman are facing each other in the opposite corner. Coolidge appears to be minding his own business here.
Indeed. And Grant and Garfield, it looks like maybe they're going to eye up Coolidge. And yeah, it looks like they're walking over towards him. What's this, my God?
Grant just clocked Garfield.
I don't believe it. Grant just turned on Garfield. He must be bitter about 1880.
That's right. These two, now they're going at it.
Grant, with the edge here, Garfield caught completely by surprise. Grant now, he's got Garfield. He's running him headlong right into the turnbuckle. My God.
Ooh. Garfield is reeling now. He is totally at the mercy of U.S. Grant. But then, here comes Coolidge.
Where did he come from?
Coolidge has a hold of Garfield.
My God, he's lifting him up now. Oh, my God.
It's a silent but violent suplex.
Over the top rope.
Over the top rope.
Garfield is eliminated.
Garfield is out.
He's gone.
Grant is shocked. He had Garfield snatched right up from his grasp.
Calvin Coolidge popped in out of nowhere.
And here comes Pierce hitting Grant from behind.
My God.
Coolidge once again sneaks away.
Coolidge playing it smart. Pierce apparently not too happy about Grant's comments about him. Stemming back to the Mexican War.
These two with a long history.
Pierce, he's got a clutch on Grant's face from behind. His middle finger's getting dangerously close to the eyes of Grant. His pinky's dug into his cheeks.
Grant in trouble here. Meanwhile, it looks like Truman is teaming up with Jefferson, and those two are wailing away on Jackson now.
Oh my goodness, tables have turned there. Andrew Jackson, a favorite here, former Transcontinental champion, but now he's in some trouble here as Jefferson and Truman start to have their way with him.
Truman now, he's holding Jackson back while Jefferson wails on him. Jackson gritting his teeth, flailing with his fists and his feet here. He is pinned in place, and Jefferson is hammering on him.
My goodness. Truman's taking a couple steps back now, holding Jackson. Jefferson bounding off the ropes, and a drop kick to the chest of Andrew Jackson.
And now Truman grabs Jackson around the neck in a reverse DDT.
My God. Andrew Jackson in
down.
some serious trouble here. And speaking of trouble, Pierce, his fingers now in the nostrils of Ulysses S. Grant, and his pinky in the cheeks. It's almost like he's trying to rip his face in half, James.
My God.
Grant shrieking in pain. Somebody's got to stop this.
And Coolidge, still minding his own business.
Indeed he is, playing it very smart here.
Letting his opponents deal pain to one another.
Keeping himself strong. Calvin Coolidge could be the next Transcontinental champion.
Speaking of which, Jefferson just put an elbow to Jackson's face. Jackson is laid out on the ground.
My goodness.
And Truman now climbing to the top rope.
What's he doing?
He could be going for the atomic drop.
Why would he do it? It's too much of a risk climbing to the top rope.
Well, Jefferson's got his back. He feels
Indeed.
free. And Jackson is on the verge of elimination here if
That's
Truman
just it.
connects with this atomic drop. He is now at the top rope, and
What's this?
It's Coolidge!
He came out of nowhere.
Coolidge once again
My God.
sneaking up, and he knocked Truman off the top rope.
Truman's gone.
Truman's out.
Truman's gone. Coolidge, he came out of nowhere and knocked Harry Truman's legs out from under him. He toppled from the top rope down to the outside. And he has been eliminated. The crafty and clever Calvin Coolidge. He could run away with this thing.
I don't think anyone's laid a finger on him so far.
I don't believe so, James. Jefferson baffled by what's just happened. Jackson still down on the ring. Jefferson now, he's watching Coolidge like a hawk.
Meanwhile, Pierce still has his grips on Grant. U.S. Grant's face halfway off of his skull now.
My God, Grant looking like a victim of Hannibal Lecter.
He's using all of his strength here to try to lift himself up. Pierce is on his back. Grant now, he's getting to his feet.
Wait a second.
He launches himself backwards and
My God.
lands on top of Pierce.
My God, and Pierce releases Grant.
I think Pierce got the wind knocked out of him there. Grant rolling to the side. He has got his face in his hands here.
My God.
He has freed himself, but he's in a lot of pain. Pierce just trying to catch his breath.
That's it. And meanwhile, Jefferson's stalking around the ring after Calvin Coolidge here. Trying to rush at him. And wait a second, Andrew Jackson is stirring now. Jackson, he's up to a knee. He's looking around. And oh, yes, he's got his eyes on Jefferson. Here comes Jackson. Jefferson taken advantage of from behind, and Jackson with a reverse DDT.
Calvin Coolidge squirreling out of the way now, and Andrew Jackson is going at it on Jefferson here.
That's it, Jackson. He's rolled over now. He is astride Thomas Jefferson. He is flurrying blows down to the face of Thomas Jefferson. Jefferson in some serious trouble now.
He's trying to cover his face here, but Jackson is wailing away at him. Jackson now, getting up here, he grabs Jefferson by the foot and is dragging him across the ring.
What can we see here?
Jackson now. Oh, a knee right to the small of the back.
Oh my goodness, he is just letting Jefferson have it here.
Jackson bounding off the ropes now and coming up. Oh, a leg drop.
My goodness, Jefferson now is in some serious trouble.
He was face down when Jackson's leg came down on the back of his neck. His face just smashed into the mat there. Pierce and Grant both kind of stirring to their feet. Coolidge minding his own business in the corner while Jackson getting Jefferson up here. Jackson, he has something in store for Jefferson here. He flings Jefferson off the ropes. And then, oh, there's Coolidge!
What's he doing?
Coolidge just flung Jefferson out of the ring!
He just chucked him out!
He snuck right in there!
My God, Calvin Coolidge has eliminated several superstars here, and I don't think anybody's laid a finger on him.
That's right, Coolidge has not been touched. He's done 3 moves in this match, and he's eliminated 3 men.
Unbelievable!
Jefferson is indignant. He's been sent home unceremoniously to Monticello. Oh, no, wait, Donald Trump owns that.
That's right.
I don't know where Jefferson's staying now. I assume James Madison has a spare room at Montpelier.
Perhaps that's the case. Now, meanwhile, back in the ring, Jackson, pretty bewildered at what just happened here, and Pierce and Grant now, back to their feet, and all eyes in the ring are turning on Calvin Coolidge.
I think these 3 are realizing what Calvin Coolidge has been up to here.
I think they're going to try and put a stop to it. Coolidge now, he's trying to dive through him. No, he's caught. Grant has both of his ankles. Jackson has his right arm. Pierce has his left arm. They're lifting him up in the air, and oh my God, just slamming him down on the mat. And
Calvin Coolidge's luck has run out.
Indeed, they're lifting him up again, and slamming him down a second time.
Smashed into the mat.
My goodness. Here they go. They're lifting him up again. And wait a second. They're rocking back and forth now. One.
They're swinging him.
2, and 3.
Oh
They
my
just
God.
chucked him over the top rope.
Calvin Coolidge is flown out of the ring. He's hit the barricade.
My goodness, rolled right into the barricade there. Coolidge, a strong effort, a smart effort, but it all came to a crashing end.
He was perhaps a little too smart for his own good. Eventually his opponents caught on, and they teamed up on him pretty effectively there.
That's just it, and that brings us to the final 3. Andrew Jackson, Franklin Pierce, Ulysses S. Grant. One of these men will be our next Transcontinental champion.
These 3 men, the final 3, squaring off here. What's going to happen? Looks like Pierce and Jackson are going for
here
Grant.
We go.
Pierce and Jackson, these 2 Democrats are going to team up. They've got Grant here, and they're wailing away on him.
Indeed, Grant in some trouble now, taking blows from both Andrew Jackson and fabulous Frankie Pierce.
Grant returning some blows here. He's trading blows with the 2 of them, but they've got more blows to send his way than he can send out.
That's just it. He's in some
They're beginning
trouble.
to overwhelm him here. Grant being backed into the corner.
Wait a second now. What's this? JQA.
It's John Quincy Adams.
JQA.
He stepped up to the side of the ring here, and Andrew Jackson sees him.
Uh-oh.
JQA, a former Transcontinental champion. I heard he was upset about not being included in this match.
That's true. My goodness. And, of course, him and Jackson have a storied history and a storied rivalry here. Jackson now making his way over, and JQA.
Jackson making JQA hear that he's not happy about him inserting himself into this situation. Both Chief Justices now going over to JQA and
telling him to
trying
get out of
back
here.
him off.
He's not supposed to be at ringside. Wait a second. Pierce just got chucked over the top rope. Grant just chucked Pierce over the top rope. And Grant now turning his attention to Andrew Jackson, who's distracted. My God!
Pierce is getting back in the ring.
Wait a second. What's Pierce doing?
He snuck right back in the ring there. I don't think the Chief
Neither
Justice
Chief Justice saw him.
see him.
My God!
Jackson is leaning over the rope,
Here
pointing at
comes Grant.
JQA. Grant got Jackson by the ankles and flipped him over the top rope.
Well,
Jackson
that should be
is
it.
out.
Grant should be the Transcontinental champion.
Grant, well, he's raising his hands in victory, but Pierce is...
What
Pierce came up
My
from behind.
God!
Pierce just hit Grant in the back, and he just flung him over the top rope.
My God!
The Chief Justices they're saying Pierce is the winner. They didn't see him go out.
No, my goodness.
Grant is furious.
Grant is arguing with John Roberts. Meanwhile, John Jay, he's walked over. He's got the Transcontinental title. He's getting into the ring to present it to Franklin Pierce. They're calling it. It's over. Franklin Pierce is the new Transcontinental champion.
Fabulous Frankie Pierce.
My God.
If this result, well, that's the result.
John Jay handing him the belt, raising his hand in victory. That's it. Ulysses S. Grant still arguing with John Roberts.
He's furious. So is Jackson. Jackson and JQA are going at it.
My God. Here come more Chief Justices trying to break it up. It's devolving into chaos here.
Pandemonium is broken out outside the ring, but inside, Franklin Pierce is the Transcontinental champion. Who would have saw that?
I certainly didn't see that coming. Pierce, an underdog here. For sure, and walking away with the Transcontinental title, although by somewhat questionable means. He was eliminated. He just didn't get caught. Unbelievable. Transcontinental champion, fabulous Frankie Pierce.
Who would have thunk it?
I am receiving word that Cross Ross Cleveland is backstage with Calvin Coolidge, who had a good showing in this Rumble. That's right, Steve. I made a bet with James earlier that I could get more than 2 words out of Calvin Coolidge. Calvin, that was an incredible showing tonight. You eliminated several presidential superstars. How do you feel about it? I lost. There you have it. Back to you guys. Thanks, Ross.
Well, I won that bet against Cross Ross.
Indeed you did.
That's money in the bank.
That's just it. And wow, what a match that was. And that's going to bring us to the much anticipated main event here tonight, as these Chief Justices get these presidential superstars out of here, breaking up John Quincy Adams and Andrew Jackson, seeing them away.
That's right, Teddy Roosevelt taking advantage of the underground nature of this event to do something he's apparently wanted to do for a long time, and which is not legal under the laws of any state in the Union, but here in the basement of this bar, there are no law enforcement officers available.
That's just it. Teddy Roosevelt going up against two fighting dogs. We have, I believe there's a Rottweiler and a Pit Bull. And Mitt Romney did the PWF the favor of driving these dogs in from Utah in a pet carrier atop his SUV. And apparently these dogs have not eaten in days, James.
That's right. They are very ferocious now. They are just salivating.
They are ravenous indeed. Ready to go up against one half the tag team champions here, Teddy Roosevelt, a formidable fighter. An Armenian trainer holding the two dogs, awaiting the signal to release them.
And let's get down to ringside.
Ladies and gentlemen, our main event. In this corner, Soul Crusher and the Beast. There they are, Soul Crusher and the Beast. The Beast a pit bull and Soul Crusher a Rottweiler.
They are looking fierce.
And hungry.
They are chomping at the bit here.
Indeed. And their opponent, Theodore Roosevelt. There he is, Teddy Roosevelt, and he looks ready. He is strapping. Look, he's getting into a pose here. He's got his fists cocked. He is ready to go. And it looks like we're ready to give the signal to let these dogs loose. Here they come! Charging in towards Teddy Roosevelt, the Beast and Soul Crusher. Oh, Teddy Roosevelt was ready with a cocked fist, and he caught the Beast in the right side of its maw. But, oh, Soul Crusher's got him!
Oh my God!
Oh, God!
These dogs tearing into Teddy Roosevelt!
It's unbelievable!
The carnage!
It's unbelievable, TR! My God! Oh, somebody needs to stop this! Somebody needs to stop this! Jesus Christ! That's it! They've called an end to it! Wait a second!
The bell is rung. The Armenian trainer is pulling the dogs off of Theodore Roosevelt. He is bleeding. They've torn into his arms and his legs.
Teddy Roosevelt's saved by the
bell
bell here.
I think the referee stopped this fight, or...
Wait a second. Look, it's the bar bouncers from upstairs.
Oh, it appears we've run out of time here.
That's just it. It looks like karaoke night is starting now, and so this fight had to be wrapped up, fortunately for TR.
Yeah, we were allowed to use the basement on the condition that we end when karaoke began, and it began just in time to save TR from certain death here.
That's just it, as he was being ferociously mauled by Soul Crusher and the Beast.
And while I guess that ends as a no decision,
technically I believe you're correct. That
Soul Crusher and the
decision.
Beast can hold their heads high as to their performance here, and TR's going to have to go home questioning his decision to have this match.
That's just it. The Armenian trainer giving Soul Crusher and the Beast some tasty nummies now, and they are happy and wagging their tails, enjoying a little treat. Looked like some raw steak that he pulled out of his pockets for these dogs to enjoy. And that's going to bring us to the end of PWF Underground here tonight. And although the main event got cut short, what a night of action we've seen. Got a new Transcontinental champion in Fabulous Frankie Pierce. We got Ronald Reagan and Jerry Ford set to take on William Howard Taft and hopefully Teddy Roosevelt.
Of Teddy Roosevelt.
That's it. Hopefully Roosevelt can recover in time for that bout. It could give Reagan and Ford an advantage. TR probably not going to be able to train so well leading up to that bout. And, yep, it looks like they're getting ready to start karaoke upstairs. I could hear the clamoring. And wait a second, I'm receiving word. The first person who signed up for karaoke, none other than Richard Nixon.
Wow. Richard Nixon has been drinking all night, and Now he's going to take up the microphone and we'll see what song he's chosen to belt out.
That's just it.
Well, that's it for PWF Underground. For the Presidential Wrestling Federation, I've been James J. Hamilton.
And I'm Stunning Steve Lincoln Douglas.
We'll see you next time.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. Pissing the night away. Pissing the night away.